The opportunity for Manchester United to climb the Premier League table is clear, but history suggests this squad often stumbles when presented with such a straightforward path to progress. The psychological challenge of converting a potential leap into 5th place, or even 4th with an extraordinary result, has previously proven a stumbling block for this group. Securing 3 points is the immediate, non-negotiable necessity, as the congested nature of the league means failing to capitalise when rivals slip up is a luxury this team cannot afford. Performance critiques can wait. The result is the sole imperative to maintain any momentum in this fiercely competitive pack. Ahead of the crucial match, injury news provided a minor tremor of anxiety. Initial cryptic suggestions from the manager hinted at 2 potential fitness doubts within the squad. The speculation immediately swirled around the vital Bruno Fernandes and the recently returned midfielder, X. However, the latest updates provide significant relief regarding the captain. Reports indicate Bruno Fernandes is set to be available for selection, despite the earlier concerns. The influential midfielder trained and is poised to build upon his recent man-of-the-match performance, which is a substantial boost. The situation surrounding the other unnamed player remains less clear, with persistent rumours suggesting it may be X. His potential absence would be a cruel blow, considering his limited minutes and the hope surrounding his return. Fortunately, the comeback of a forward-like provides an alternative, with players like Mason Mount or potentially stepping into a creative role if required. The overarching sentiment is one of cautious relief, with the captain's availability. In more definitive recovery news, defender Benjamin Sesko is reportedly aiming for a return to contention in the coming weeks. The understanding is that his issue remains minor, with the description of the injury unchanged, and no signs of it developing into a more serious concern. The targeted return aligns with the final matches before certain players depart for international tournaments, which would offer valuable reinforcement. His steady progress is a positive for a defensive unit that requires stability. Transitioning from immediate team news to future planning, the rumour mill has produced an intriguing, if somewhat questionable, story regarding a young midfield talent. Reports from a specific regional outlet claim Manchester United have submitted a formal offer for Olympiakos' teenage midfielder, Christos Mousakaitis. The narrative suggests the bid, worth a significant sum for an 18-year-old, has been rejected, with the Greek club holding out for a fee closer to a premium price. They are allegedly refusing to even negotiate unless offers exceed a certain threshold. The credibility of this story is immediately challenged by the conspicuous silence from the established tier of transfer journalists connected to the club. So, if a formal bid of this magnitude had been lodged, it seems improbable that it would be broken exclusively by a distant source without corroboration from the usual network of insiders. Interest in the player is plausible. He is a profile the club, scouts, likely monitor, say. However, the leap from scouting to a concrete, rejected bid feels premature and perhaps engineered to inflate the player's market or create an auction narrative with other linked clubs like Real Madrid. The financial logic of committing such a sum to a completely unproven Premier League untested teenager, when other more established options might be available for similar outlays, invites skepticism. This leads directly to the complex and pressing internal midfield puzzle, the situation of Mainoo. His lack of minutes has become a major point of discussion, with the manager consistently facing questions about the talented academy graduate. The public stance is that the team is being selected purely on merit to win games, and currently other players are deemed ahead of him. This has created a frustrating standoff. From the club's perspective, there is a strong reluctance to sanction a loan departure. The primary reason is maintaining squad depth and quality for the remainder of the season, especially with a lack of European fixtures limiting rotation opportunities. However, this stance is fraught with risk and conflicting outcomes. There is a palpable fear that a temporary move could backfire spectacularly. If Mainoo were to struggle for form or fitness on loan, his market value could depreciate ahead of any potential future sale. Conversely, if he were to leave and excel, shining elsewhere, the spotlight would turn intensely on the decision to marginalise him, creating an unwelcome narrative. Some reports even suggest the possibility of permanent offers arriving in January, which would add a new layer of complexity. Selling a homegrown talent of his perceived potential is always a delicate decision, laden with emotional and strategic weight. The ideal scenario sees him sign a new contract, stay, and fight for his place, developing in training for a future role as the midfield evolves. Yet, for a player of his age, consistent competitive minutes are arguably the greatest catalyst for development. It is a classic club dilemma, damned somewhat regardless of the path chosen, with his contract situation adding urgency to the calculus. The midfield conversation extends to another player facing an uncertain future. Manuel Ugarte. Reports suggest his situation at the club appears bleak, with an exit in either the January or summer window now a real possibility. Like Mainoo, he finds himself firmly out of the manager's preferred plans, with senior players ahead in the pecking order. This presents a potential strategic pivot. What if the club's planning has been misinterpreted? Instead of focusing on a Mainoo exit, perhaps the more straightforward solution is to seek a permanent sale for Ugarte. This would achieve several goals, generating transfer funds, freeing up a squad space and wage allocation, and potentially simplifying the Mainoo dilemma by removing one competitor. From a fan sentiment and long-term potential perspective, retaining the homegrown Mainoo over the purchased Ugarte might be the more popular and pragmatic choice. Ugarte could then provide the financial impetus and positional need to pursue a targeted midfield reinforcement. One name persistently linked to such a reinforcement is Conor Gallagher. The narrative suggests United's interest is enduring, with a loan move having been explored late in the summer window. The current obstacle is the selling club's firm stance. They are only interested in a permanent transfer for a fee in a specific range and are not open to a loan arrangement. This creates an interesting hypothetical. If United were to generate funds from the sale of a player like Ugarte, could those funds be directly deployed to meet the asking price for Gallagher? He represents a profile of energy, athleticism, and pressing ability that the midfield has sometimes lacked. While not necessarily the first name on a broader shortlist, which may include other profiles, he remains a known and appreciated opportunity if the financial conditions align. The possibility of a straight swap, outgoing sale funding an incoming permanent deal, presents a cleaner transactional logic than the complex loan debates. In the realm of pure fantasy, a report from a less credible outlet has linked United with an audacious move for Real Madrid's Federico Valverde. The suggestion of a substantial bid for a player who is a cornerstone of the Spanish Giants and tied to a long-term contract is instantly dismissible. The complete absence of this story from any reputable source confirms its nature. If such a bid were real, the football news cycle would be dominated by it. This serves as a useful benchmark for separating tangible rumours from outright fabrication. Finally, off the pitch, there has been deliberate mischief regarding one of the club's most exciting academy prospects. Stories have emerged suggesting elite European clubs like Barcelona are actively attempting to sign the prodigiously talented youngster. While it is an undeniable truth that top clubs across the continent will monitor a player of his extraordinary potential, the framing of this as a new or immediate threat is misleading. The player recently signed professional terms, and regulations limit his ability to move abroad for a significant period. The club is actively working to integrate him into the long-term project, with a pathway to the first team being the ultimate carrot. These stories are less about imminent danger and more about recognizing his status. Every major club will be aware of a talent of this caliber. The real work is in the background, ensuring the environment and trajectory at United make a future elsewhere. An unthinkable choice for the player. An unthinkable choice.